Yo, what's up everyone? We are getting to the final few days of the Chill Day banner. So you guys already know what that means. We are like, what, 6 days away now? 6 days? Yeah, like 6 days away from the banner ending. And that means Zongli is right around the corner. Let's talk about him because they have released some official news on his actual kit. So we're going to assess that and then we're going to give my opinion on what I think you should probably be building and prepping for him. Now, that's not the full details of the character quite yet, so we can't go into the nitty gritty, but we can at least start getting some prep ideas out the way so we can start fleshing out exactly what we need and we can make this character as badass as possible. So Zongli, this is the news that they released. Man, this looks like a magazine cover or something like that. So obviously we know he's a pole arm Geo user. Let's talk about his kit. They go over right here near the bottom. Talents right here. All right, so normal attacks, Rain of Stone. So performs up to 6 rapid slashes. Nothing special there. Do look like a really cool animation though. I do like how he like flips the sword, he kicks it like that. It looks pretty. I said sword, pole arm. He kicks it like that. As we can see, he does have a new weapon. Now we're going to be looking inside the game because they actually got some more details for some things to come in there that you guys should be taking note of. That will probably help his kit too. Now we don't have the details on it, but we can at least see what it is. Maybe some really good stuff there. Chart attack consumes a certain amount of stamina to lunge forward, causing stones to appear following its path. Now, one thing to note about this, it did say like causes stones to appear. I'm wondering if the stones that appear, as you can see right there, it looks like more like after images of his actual spear or whatever. But they say they call stones, whatever. Anyway, I wonder if they are actually going to be causing crystallization. If they actually do, then he has crystallization on his charge attack, which basically means like, you know, his normal attack charge version. That's actually very good, because that means he's not limited to actually having Geo only apply to his elemental skill and his burst skill. He can have it on his normal attacks well, which is going to be a nice addition. So I definitely want to see that. I definitely want to play around with that. Obviously, luckily, they always allow us to try out the characters, so you can always try them out, see how they feel, and give more, you know, concrete information about how these characters actually work. Now, talents right here, it says elemental skill. I don't even know how to say that. Dominus Lapidus. Commands the omnipresent power of the earth to solidify into a stone stele, dealing AoE Geo damage. Additionally, the stone stele will resonate with other Geo constructs in the vicinity, dealing Geo damage to surrounding enemies. The stone stele is considered a Geo construct and can both be climbed and used to block attacks. Only one stele can exist at any one time. So this is basically his elemental skill right here. So he basically puts his pillar out. Looks very similar to how the Geo MC does it, where they basically make it like this boulder, but instead this boulder does continuous Geo damage. As you can see, it spreads out, does continuous AoE damage. It looks better than it because it doesn't look like it's going to be putting enemies on top of it as frequently. I don't think that's a thing, but it says you can climb it, so that is a thing. So you can climb this, but the normal version doesn't seem like it's going to have like that big problem that the other one does. It doesn't seem like it's going to stop the fight as much. You know, it's very skinny. It's not like a big boulder in the way, and you could use it to like block paths. So that's very good. So it could be both a offensive and a defensive tool with that in mind. Now, of course, like I said, it does AoE damage the moment you put it out, and then it does continuous Geo damage on pulses as to surrounding enemies after it already comes out. So I wonder how long it actually lasts, considering basically I'm asking, I wonder how long the active frames are on the pulses compared to the cooldown. I hope it's a good timer to where he doesn't have to wait that long. Next thing is his charge version of his elemental skill, the hold version. So this is the hold version. Basically it says causes nearby Geo energy to explode, causing the following effects. Create a shield of jade. The shield damage absorption scales based on Zongli's HP and absorbs Geo damage 250% more effectively. Deals AoE damage. If there are nearby targets with the Geo element, it will drain a large amount of the Geo element from a maximum of 2 targets. This effect does not cause damage. The last thing that's talking about there, I don't really understand what that means. My impression of what that means is getting more elemental energy. So I would imagining that means like he will get more elemental energy from enemies that he do it to who have the Geo element, which would make it more interesting. He can basically, you know, energy recharge itself pretty fast if that's the case. But maximum 2 enemies, obviously they don't want it to be too OP, but that's what I'm taking from that. That's what it sounds like. Now, as far as the shield, it seems very similar to how Beto's shields work. So, you know, it's scaling off max HP, and it's going to absorb the element, which is Geo, 200% more effectively than normal. Of course, it causes Geo damage as well. I'm guessing the charge version will probably do more damage than the other one. At like, I guess one time. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it actually may do less, considering that it gives you a shield as well. Probably do less, considering this one has AoE continuous damage, and this one just like one big burst damage. But this one could be good for, like, you know, probably, like I said, possibly gaining your energy recharge back, and then basically giving you the shield, which could also lead into more damage, depending on how this new weapon works, and of course some of the artifacts we're going to talk about that you should be considering for Zongli after we get through this last skill, his elemental burst. So this is his ultimate. It looks very sick, bringing a meteor out the sky like that, trying to look like Sephiroth, bringing a falling meteor down to earth, dealing massive Geo damage to opponents, quoting his AoE, and applying petrification status to them. So the cool thing to note here is that this does petrify big mobs. So any of the big guys, it seems like it's petrifying them too. Now, as far as petrifying actual like bosses, you know, like your weekly bosses and stuff, I don't know if it's going to do that. But as far as like the mobs on the field, it definitely does. I want to see if it's going to do it to some of the like the big elites as well. Like, you know, if it could do it to the flowers or the oceanoid, or no, it probably can't do it to the oceanoid because obviously you don't hit them, but the cubes or whatever, that would be pretty cool if you can do petrification to those type of enemies. But to see that it could actually do it to, like, you know, some of the heavier enemies in the game, because some things in the game, like for example the wind element, they can't really pick them up because obviously they're bigger. So, you know, sometimes effects of elements just don't carry over to the bigger enemies of the game, but this one actually does, which is a great addition. So I'm glad that he has that. Now, what should you be looking for when trying to build a Zongli? Well, first things first, we don't know anything else about what he needs in order to basically level him up. But what we do know for sure, obviously, because he is a Geo unit, that he will be needing those Geo materials. So getting your Geo hypostasis, fighting these, getting these chunks right here, these gemstones and these pillars are going to be what you need. You know, obviously you're going to need this Geo stuff. So you haven't been farming the Geo boss, definitely start prepping for this boss if you can. Obviously we know the event is happening right now too, so you're going to be spending a lot of resin on the event, but you know, sneaking in a boss or two wouldn't hurt you if you're trying to get this. So definitely keep that in mind if you're trying to go ahead and prep for that Zongli. Keep that in mind. But obviously I know the time right now is the event, which the event is very important. Don't not get that crown. Definitely get that crown. You definitely need that. But yeah, now as far as some artifacts that this character can use, he can use some pretty good sets. I'm not gonna lie here. Let me turn on domains. So considering that his ultimate is supposed to do a lot of damage, his elemental burst, you can actually probably run him on a noblest set and get some pretty good damage. So increase that elemental burst damage, so more massive damage on that elemental burst. And using elemental burst increases all party members attack by 20%. So he can also be used as a support that way. So you're going to do massive damage, you're going to petrify the enemies, and then you're going to do 20% more attack for 12 seconds. Now I don't know how long it actually lasts. I would imagine it's only going to be a few seconds, probably like 4 to 5 seconds. But you know, you can still get something done within that time frame and you know, do some massive damage. Another set that you're going to probably want to consider is going to be the Archaic Petra. Now this is going to just flat out increase Geo damage bonus by 15%, and then it's going to have the unique ability of obtaining elemental shards through crystallization reacts. All party members gain a 35% damage bonus for the particular element for 10 seconds. So obviously if he is doing Geo damage and you pick up the Geo, then it's going to basically give all the characters in your party 35% damage bonus for that. So you're going to get Geo damage bonus 15 plus another 15. Now if you are happening to run another Geo unit, you can increase further stats like this. I don't know why you would do it, but it is a possibility of what you can do, which I mean is from the element resonance chart. So you got to remember that having two of the same elements do give you different things. So increase resistance to interruptions when protected by shields, and increase attack damage by 15%. So you can increase your attack damage by 15% if you have two Geo units. Now obviously having multiple Geo units or just a Geo unit particularly lowers the amount of elemental reactions you have at your disposal, because obviously they just do shields and they're not going to be giving you damage versions of elemental reactions. They're just more of a defensive element reaction, but it's something you can consider doing for that. Just keep that in mind, because he is going to be a massive damage dealer for the Geo units. Now, another one that is a little bit weirder is the retracting Bolide. Increase sets strength by shield strength by 35%. So it's going to keep the shield strength by 35%. But while protected by a shield, gain an additional 40% normal and charge attack damage. So once again, if you are using another Geo unit, you can obviously get the extra 15% attack from there. But then you can also gain more from that. Now, the only thing about this set, I believe, is a little bit weird as far as how it works, because you can only get this for the character that actually gets the shield. So it will only, I believe, work on Zongli. So the character that like gets the shield, I think it only work on him. Is very finicky as far as like how it exactly works. So just keep that in mind. But I think the main set that probably you guys are going to be looking at, like I said, is going to be probably like Noblesse, or it's going to be this Petra set. Anyway, like I said, that's all the news we really got on Zongli. As we get more news, we'll be making more diverse guides as far as like proper builds and stuff like that for us, how you can use them. But right now, we just got the bare minimum of the details we need. But I just want to make a quick video for you guys, talking about the character, talking about the skills finally, because he's finally on the way. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to him, and he's finally here. One other thing I do want to talk about, though, is going to be the things inside of here. Like I did mention before, we do have weapons, as you can see. So more new characters coming is going to be obviously Zhongli and the other new character. But then we also have these new weapons here as well. So the Vortex Vanquisher is something that you're going to be looking at. This is going to be a new weapon banner, and the Unforged, another great sword. Now, we don't have the actual details on what they actually do, but it's probably going to be something you definitely want to keep an eye out for, because this seems like it's going to be his go-to weapon. And if this weapon does anything that like remotely changes his game plan in any form, this could potentially change builds completely and all of that. So that's what I'm saying. We need the full details on what this weapon is before I could give some like full concrete details on certain things, because this would be crazy. Overall, I think he's very strong. He sounds very strong. He definitely sounds like a better version of the MC. It's like what I want the Geo MC to probably be, but the Geo MC just doesn't do it well. They try to do this like weird construct thing, but then also they're like stuff sort of get in the way and slows down the game in that aspect. But they do it in a much better way, and it seems like they're just getting more damage overall while also adding more utility for the team. So I like that a lot. I think he's very good. So if you're going to be pulling for him, I don't think you're pulling for something bad. I don't even think there's a bad character in this game. I constantly tell you guys that. But hey, yeah. Anyway, if you like anything I had to say today, drop me a like. I greatly appreciate it. And if you want to hear more from me, follow me on my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Dyken, and I'll see y'all next time. Signing out.